just agitate me about the fancy, right? But I'm team Browns, guys. Don't think I'm not team Browns. So that's just kind of my thought on that.
Yeah. One of the things that possible is that D'Amico Ryans probably will be coach of the year. I don't know. I don't know. I think that Stefanski earns it and deserves it because hey, he's the first coach in NFL history to be able to go to the playoffs with four different starting quarterbacks. So that's one of the things that you have to contend with as well. So that's a very interesting stat. D'Amico Ryans, the team that had the number one pick to he's taken them to the playoffs, and they are the division winner in of the AFC South. They're the division winner, so that's one of the things that right there is could help him. He was able to help develop CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud came in there already. I think NFL ready. He's played some big games at Ohio State, so this is another big game. He lost to Clemson, but no, that was Justin Fields that lost to Clemson, but CJ Stroud came in and beat Clemson, who had been a monkey on our back for a while, and then also he lost to Georgia, but I don't think there should have been a loss. I think that that was because they wanted to see Georgia again, and that they didn't call that targeting call. But I definitely think that he came in ready to play in some big games. So I think that he might be built for this, and he scares me a little bit. But I think D'Amico Ryans deserves a lot of credit. He was a great player when he played in the league, and now he's a great coach.
I totally agree with that. It's going to be interesting to see what the outcome of it is, but I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. He is, to me, a type of leader that inspires. He lets them be what they are, who they are. But he was able to step into that program and just the fact that they won the AFC South, I think it is. Come on, with a rookie.
Yeah, I'm proud of CJ. I posted a meme today on Facebook in which, if you remember, have you seen that movie New Jack City with Nino Brown?
Oh, yes.
So Nino Brown was aiming a gun with tears down his face, and it was like, "Sorry, CJ." When you're a Browns fan and you torn, sorry, CJ. So that was one of the things as well. So I was just like, that's funny, but unfortunately, this is the pros,
It's
and
what it is.
you out there making a paycheck. This is where you want to be. So this is what's about to happen. So
Yeah, no, I'm concerned about the game. Like I think that the Browns should be able to leave Houston with a victory. I'm concerned about though that they have all of their starters back, right? Especially on D. And we know what we're gonna do. We know we're gonna throw the ball until Flacco's arm falls off. So I think my sense is I would prefer to play Houston, believe it or not, than to have gone down to Jacksonville.
really,
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I think Jacksonville is a franchise that's on the up. I think Houston is having this moment with, wow, are we really here? I think that plays to the Browns' advantage in terms of mental preparedness for the game, right?
hmm
Also, be in a closed environment. So, in terms of elements, I really don't think there's a concern. I'm not trying to oversimplify this. I don't think that there's a concern related to the elements, whether it's too hot, or if it's raining, or out whatever it is, out the dragon on the football when he throws it. So I'm expecting the Browns to figure it out and get this win.
I'm just thinking for a second. I'd rather win to Jacksonville because they've totally fallen apart. And yesterday I still kind of can't believe that they lost that game to be able to, get into the playoffs. It is what it is, but I felt like we could have called them at a low moment. But hey, Houston was able to take care of business and do what they needed to do and go out and win their game so they could win the division. One of the things that CJ Stroud, that catch with Nico Collins where you thought that he was going to throw the ball out of bounds and he didn't. He called him for a 40-yard, play that, was discombobulated and, turned into a 40-yard gain. So, CJ is not a mobile quarterback. He's going to stay in the pocket, but, you should be able to get to him, Miles Garrett, one of the things that I don't know if we talked about this last night because we have some great talks. But I feel like, they need to go after him a couple times. We're not a huge blitzing team though. So that's one of the things. But I think if you get to him early, rattle him early, there's a difference between playing against Georgia and playing against, the Cleveland Browns. Not saying that our defense is, world beaters or anything like that, but we have a really good defense. So I think that if they get to him early, they could cause a little bit of, kerfuffle with him. And, if they mix up some of their defenses, but I don't think we have to do that a ton, where we, give some exotic looks and stuff like that. So they're going to have to figure it out. Grant Delpit is back, which is a good thing, him being hurt. Miles Garrett got some rest. So, even though I wanted to win that game yesterday and we sat our starters, it gave them a chance to get a rest, which was important.
Yeah, but I was a little concerned about that hit Tillman took, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know he's young and invincible, but when you see a hit like that, it just like lays out a player. I wonder about the long term impact of that. I like that Flacco has options to grow to, and anytime we have Elijah coming back, I mean, he's coming off concussion. Now we got Tillman protocol. I was a little surprised that we played Tillman at all. To be honest with you, I was very surprised to see Kareem out there, even though it was fleeting. I just thought, this was a game for our backups, and it was a game to work on some basic strategy, right? It was a game for our veterans who were watching to see an NFL football game real time, to have a different perspective on it that may bring value to them. Not to say they're not capable in their positions, but sometimes looking at something from the outside, but also from the inside, can be of value. So I was just really surprised to see even those players in the game. I think the long season and needs rest our minds.
That players coming again.
Of course they did.
They got upset over what their witness to, but Sapphire, we got to go ahead and take a break. You've been listening to Huddle on WOBU 95.9 FM. We'll be right back.
I was getting a ton of interference. That's why I couldn't tell if
ton
of interference.
Yeah, you have right?
Well,
yeah, take it off because I think that might have been the reason why.
No, I'm not.
Okay, you're not inside. No, I don't know why the feedback that I'm getting.
Yeah, that's good. There was like an echo.
So which has never happened before.
We'll go. Okay. Yeah. Right.
This is really weird. Okay, I just want to make sure it was in the
No.
I don't know what it's doing.
And you know what about that Titans game? I wasn't surprised at all because that was Derek Henry's last game. And you watched the post game where he stayed out on the field and he thanked his fans, talked about it being a wonderful 8-year ride. I thought this was their inspiration. He wanted to give those fans like a nice farewell. Damn, do you have a brick?
A brick? For Samsung?
I got yeah, because I have what's that thing called? The C. There's a new one called the C.
Oh, I don't got the C. Wait, the brick, the other one to go, the big one to go into?
Yeah, the one that I can plug it into the jack.
Oh yeah, I don't got it. Sorry. Girl, if you would see my phone, I got you.
See, this one doesn't fit because it's a C. Kate talked to you about if they make it to Baltimore doing a group trip down?
No.
Straight up, she said drive. I said, "You know how to get us tickets? You know where the seats are?" She's like, "Yeah."
Really?
I'm not even joking. I thought she was talking about it.
Mm-mm. I mean, I would be down.
Mhm. We could do a pregame show from there.
All right. Welcome back to Her and the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. This is your girl, Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports, and I am here with Miss Sapphire today. I was about to say, I was waiting on you to do that. No, it's okay. We live for these moments with you. Uh, so back to one of the things is I wanted to talk about was what do we think that some of the keys to one fun fact just in case you didn't know is that every Lake Erie team has made the playoffs. So I don't know if you saw that with Detroit, Cleveland, and Buffalo all making the playoffs. So that's a little fun fact. That's the first time in NFL history that's ever happened.
You know what? I was that game last night. It was everything I thought it would be. Like Josh Allen is like a beast. If you ever really look at him
Hmm.
physically, I mean this respectfully, he is such a you wouldn't classify him as a mobile quarterback, but when he gets the chugs moving, he is like a locomotive in that arm. Like the outcome of that game was totally expected, at least for me. And I think Buffalo is a force that needs to be reckoned with. I mean, found the I to V again, changed
What's
the
that? What's up with fancy French? What does that mean? I didn't take French, girl. I took Spanish.
it's joy of life. They found their flow back, their feng shui.
Okay.
They changed their OC and then doggone, they look good.
Yeah, I mean, what is it? 5 in a row, 6 in a row?
Yes.
But
Yes.
Josh Allen's kind of turnover prone. So, there were some turnovers last night in that game. But, they came from behind and was able to beat, Miami down in Miami in a hostile environment. So, they were able to get it done. And, kind of, one of the things is, that I feel like that game would have been, maybe if they had been able to score on that final drive going into the second half of that game. So I was kind of surprised that they wasn't able to pull that off. And then last night when it came to getting that first down, was that game where they didn't get the first down and they stopped them on 4-on-1?
Yes.
That was in that game too, right?
Yes.
So they were able to stop on fourth down as well. So that was a really good game. I was expecting a little bit more from the Dolphins. I expected them to be a little bit more explosive. Yeah, at home too.
With Tua.
Yeah, yeah, I did. I did. I didn't expect them to lose that game.
Wow, girl. I would have that would have been for me an upset if the
Hmm.
Fins had won at home.
Really?
Straight up. Buffalo's for real.
Hmm.
And for me, look, you know, mad respect to the coach and the quarterback. But when I think about Tua, I don't see the type of quarterback for me that is going to take me to the playoffs, that is going to defend home field in the playoffs or on the road. Like, I think they're playing KC. Expect KC to mop them up. The floors, the wall, the roof. Like, I just don't see Tua is the type of quarterback that can dictate his will. And I hope I'm not saying he can't prove me wrong, but yeah, I just don't see him as that type of quarterback.
Yeah. So Kansas City and the Dolphins did play this year, and Kansas City won 21-14. So that was in Kansas City as well. So they have Miami again in Kansas City. So I'm expecting Kansas City to play I'm expecting them to win the game. So when you think about everybody saying nobody wants to play the Cleveland Browns anymore, does anybody want to play the Buffalo Bills right now either?
You know what? That's a great question. And I mean, for me, I don't want the Browns to play the Buffalo Bills. I don't want us to play the Buffalo Bills. I think that, like you said, they're on a win streak. They've managed to pull themselves back up by the bootstraps. They have this thing, right, where everything come together at the right time. Like in a hostile environment, the game that I watched last night felt more like a Bills Game. Did you hear all of those
Oh yeah,
plays?
I did. I did.
Crazy.
I did.
It's a whole other definition of snowbird,
I
right?
was just about to say
Yes.
that.
And I think they take that. What I
hmm
really do. I think Buffalo is that good.
I've always had a soft spot in my heart for Buffalo because they didn't want, Cleveland lose their team, and they were just really there for us when we lost our team. So I've always had a soft spot for them. And then when they made it to the Super Bowl 4 times, in the '90s, and they lost every time, I've just always had a soft spot. So I've always kind of rooted for them after the Browns were finished and stuff like that. But right now they're clicking on all cylinders, and they're a dangerous team as well. And Josh Allen, remember, we could have had him instead of Baker Mayfield, but history is as it is, and that's a scary team to face as well. And I don't know if I want to face them, because George says Jacksonville. He wanted to be in Jacksonville today after the flop. That's why we're going to Houston. The Jags had one job and failed miserably at it. So I don't really, like I said, I prefer to play Jacksonville down in Jacksonville, but it is what it is. So we're going to be taking on the Texans, and that's just where we're at right now, and that's okay because we think that we can go in there and get that victory.
Yeah, I also still have a soft spot for Buffalo because, and this probably predates your existence on the planet, tongue in cheek, but there was a game they many years ago versus the then Houston Oilers, who's quarterback by Warren.
Yep.
You remember the game? Yeah.
Well, not the game. I remember Warren.
Right, but they um, lost that game after having a very commanding lead. I just thought that was like a Cleveland Browns moment. Like I just never forget the looks on the faces of the Bills players, and it just stuck with me. And they're a close market team as well, right? So that's one of the biggest things I remember about the Bills.
Yeah. I wanted to pull up the bracket right quick because I wanted to see, yeah, NFL playoffs. So the NFL playoff picture. So Pittsburgh Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
You can't forget about them. So they have to go into where are they going in?
Aren't they? So what? They're the seven, right?
They're the 7th seed. And they better thank Baltimore for resting their players, or else they were not in there. But they snuck in the playoffs. So maybe they won't have as much talk about fire and Mike Tomlin, because he made the playoffs again when everybody left. Everybody left them for dead.
So they're going to play at the Bills.
Okay. Yes, that's right.
A Sunday at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. That's going to be a great game. I mean, you know, it's hard for me to say this, but I just don't think we can count out the Steelers. But at
hmm
home, the Bills, that's going to be a big task.
Think of how quick that flopped as well. That last night, the Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills were playing for position, and the Bills won, so now they're the number 2 seed, and the Texans and well, so Indy lost.
Mhm.
So they were almost all playing for the number 4 seed. And, Jacksonville lost. Everybody thought we were playing Jacksonville as it stood. But hey, Houston was like, hey, we got a good team too. So, that flopped, pretty instantaneously. So then in the NFC, you got the 49ers, you got the Cowboys as the second, the Lions as the third, and the Buccaneers as the fourth. So the Buccaneers just locking that up yesterday.
Isn't that
So
fascinating?
mhm.
And props to Baker Mayfield, right? I can say he literally willed that team into victory his whole season. I mean, it was tough. It was grinding. I watched his post game presser. He actually looks a little banged,
Mhm.
but another great game. Almost with my Fly Eagles Fly, Philadelphia Eagles. Really looking forward to seeing it.
Oh man, we need to take a break because I want to ask you what in the world is going on with the Philadelphia Eagles. So we're gonna go ahead and take a break really quickly. You're listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. We'll be right back. You want a water? You want a water? Sapphire, you want a water?
Yes, thank you. There you go. Thanks, dear. Thank
Okay. All right, welcome back to Her and the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. This is your girl, Rachel Hood, First Lady Sports. Remember, you can always listen to us live on WOV, well, 95.9 FM. You can also listen to us online at WOVU.org. You can also listen to us on the go if you download that WOVU app. And then you can always contact the station at any time for any of your questions, comments, and concerns. We love to hear from you at 216-271-0959. I am here in the studio with Sapphire today, and we are going to get into her team, the Philadelphia Eagles. But we want to say, hey, Joyce, Happy New Year to you as well. We're listening via the app at KSU. Continued success for you. We'll pretend like yesterday didn't happen. LOL. We are right with you, Joyce. I hope you're having a great day. Happy New Year to you, and also hope that you had the happiest of holidays as well. So, Sapphire, please tell us what is going on with your Philadelphia Eagles because I thought that they would have the number one seed locked up. They started off, this season really great, and then have they lost 5 in a row?
I stopped counting. I mean, honestly, you know, listen, I think this is what you always talk about, how your defense is really wins you games,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, look at the Cleveland Browns. We don't have our defense, we're not winning these games. And I think for my Eagles, when you look at they had the top ranked total defense and seventh ranked scoring defense last season. This year, they're at 23rd and 29th. Like you can't win games without defenses, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then for me, look, I don't know what Sirianni, but he looked like he's very rudimentary, kind of off. As much as some women may enjoy watching Jalen Rump get push,
He is a handsome young man.
he is. God bless, God bless. But that is not a winning formula for success. When you think about a franchise like the Eagles, people are. I got cousins out there that don't even know about it. They just want to participate in an alternate reality because of the expectations being so high for that team. So I think those are the two causal factors. And believe it or not, I will be surprised if the Buccaneers won that game on Monday. I'm telling you.
Girl, you tripping. Oh, yeah, I'm mad because we are not playing on Saturday night prime time or Sunday prime time.
Okay. Listen, as long as we get to the next round, I don't care. I just want the Browns. Eddie, where you at? I'm on Eddie's flow right now.
Eddie did text us during the show, didn't he? I don't know what happened to it. He said something during the show, but gone.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the way the Eagles are playing, it's just, you could go through something. I mean, this is just, my fans' perspective. But once that button is turned off, you can't go back to, hey, what we did last year. We knew we have the pieces. We just need to turn that button back. But you can't do that. You just can't do that, especially in the NFL. So, that for me is this is going to be a real Monday night. It's going to be great to watch it, but it's going to be real good.
Why do I believe in your Eagles more than you?
Because I've watched the Eagles for probably, I'm going to say, 10 years less than I watched the Browns. Like, I'm talking about meeting, right in here, meeting. They used to do their season at Westchester University, the town next door to Westchester University. Herm Edwards, watching Jaws. Like, I know the culture. Like, I know the culture here. I know what has worked and what hasn't worked. And, Jalen's coming off huge contract recently too. That can be factoring into this as well. People are like, could be the player contributed to this too. Where's my vision, right? There's so many different dynamics that could play inside of the locker room that's impacting their on the field performance as well. And then you got Sirianni, he is like a player's coach. He's a ride or die for his coaches, but you also need that kind of leadership that not in public, but kind of like inside the locker room, call these players out. They need to understand everybody needs to step up and contribute to this thing, and that's not what's happening.
Mm. And Nick Sirianni in any trouble at all?
I think he is.
He just got to the Super Bowl last year.
So what? Like we talk about Ryan Day, what's the expectation?
That's different. That's different. We are the firm. We are the machine. That's different.
Listen, there's a unique type of fan in South Philly. I'm telling you.
We ain't always expecting Philly to win every year. That's different. Talking about Ryan Day.
Let me tell you something about that. Out here. My friends are my best friends. I stayed out that way. I know. Let's go back to Andy Reid. 5 straight NFC championships. Any other team would keep him. He had one bad year after that, and he was gone.
See ya.
Like, understand me. The expectation is you win it all. And any failure that you're out here, that's why when I came back home, like I was so far away that I didn't get to go. So I became an adopted Eagles fan. I went to see I seen Big King down there, all that. And understanding that culture of, I wish Cleveland fans. Cleveland fans talk about old culture. I've never heard Eagles fans talk about any of them. Donovan that was great. They don't talk about that. I think he there's not a lot of people that like Donovan. Mike, Donovan to five. Understand the mind frame of the fans of this town. And it's always mind-boggling that Cleveland fans will bring back top dog, talk about all the old West. I'm like, yo, it's old. Like, they're done.
But we don't have nothing else to hang our hats on.
You don't have. That's the problem. You hang your hats on the hats that is right now there. People are trash moving them out. It works when you stop going to the games. The problem, the Browns fans will keep going to the games. Eagles started to lose. That stadium was empty.
We're glad.
Understand what I'm saying? When the Sixers was losing, that team was empty. They got it.
The spectrum. Yeah.
Understand? That's what it's about. You affect the pocket. That's the thing. Change. You want to affect the pocket. Every time the Browns look at you, we have a pretty good owner who gets he wants to win because he got a chip on his shoulder. So he wants to do all that he can to win.
Mm-hmm.
But past owners, you're still going to do games. We love backup. I never seen Eagle fans say love backup. They let the backup who won the championship go. He won the Super Bowl, and it's like, oh, you can kick rise. You get what I'm saying?
They sure did.
Guys, love the backup. Oh, love these backups. No, they're backups for a reason. Has he been hired yet? The dude won the Super Bowl. Where is he at? Where's the kid at?
Well, sometimes was calling for him. The Browns maybe reach out to him.
I mean, he was probably the best between him and Flacco.
Totally agree.
Yeah, between him, like kind of two.
But what I think about that is, if you've been listening to the analysts, they talked about the major role that Gary Kubiak played in getting like a weird one goal shot, but counts the fans. Like he has changed. To your point, you've made so eloquently. He's changed his play calling. He has customized the system to an older style football under the center, play action, sweeps, utilizing the tight end. That is someone like your Kubiak is Stefanski's ear, right? So, but going back to styles again, and
And I love that.
Well, y'all do snowballs at Santa Claus.
Okay, I was feel like and we talk. We always it's the problem. Is, let's get deeper. We shouldn't get this deep into it, but who cares? New Year. Um, it's the old media that right. It's the old that we have that pushes those narratives out. Mary, respected Mary, whatever her name is.
Can't have
Terry,
it.
they always bring up these. Oh, well, when we had, who cares? We're talking about today and trying to win it, and stop looking at Cleveland like it was Cleveland 35 years ago. It's a whole different time. And I'm gonna tell you what. That means it's different fans who come in who's adopting the Browns as their team. That fan base is not the same as the whole fan base.
Yeah.
They're different. They don't care. You thinking Cleveland is an old Rust Belt town is wrong. That's not us. Nowhere near it. People come in and like all that. You get what we get. I like being in Philly. I like, hey man, we never before get out of here.
And I just say something. They were on Beats rear end even before like 2 years before that. They were on him 2 years before he actually got let go.
Yeah.
Right? And sports talk radio out there, they call him out. They call the players out. To Chris Styles' point, they're not used as agents to spread a message from team to fans. That's like mind control. That's why I think your show happens because you're real about it. You're not just talk that you've been taught because you're concerned about.
Well, we're not to the Browns as well either.
Yeah, but so even that's not practices. Like I love how Scott says, sometimes we sound like homers. He's right. We got to have a neutral perspective, right, on these things because if we're doing our fans a disservice.
Yeah, even one of the nations really does supposed to get. They don't care. Remember, that's they don't care. Probably 3 of the stations probably show the game or play the game anyway, right? It's such a large city. It's huge. It's huge. Trust me. We got 5 million colleges there. It's such a huge city. But again, you have to be objective. It's not right. It's not right. And as fans, again, push the character, push the old 50 old guy. Can't remember his name. Push the old Riz, the old Browns. This reminds me of Kevin. He reminds me. No! Yes, what's a current player for another team? I don't care. You can say that. You are allowed to say that. Oh, this receiver reminds me of X current player or current player for another team. It doesn't matter. But when you push those narratives, this would get tired. That's why this is sports radio. I hear Nick, of course. You get that whole thing. That's why the Browns. That's what people talk about Cleveland politics because we held our head up some old stuff. It is over.
Yeah.
I don't care about that.
And respectfully, I think that's part of Stefanski's challenge too. Seriously, he's trying to change the culture here, right? And that's part of it. Now that I will ride the guy with him on. We're so stuck in this mindset that's shoved down our throat for 20 years, right?
Even more.
Yeah, also 30, but I think, to your point, there's that, we have to grab hold of because the Browns were, bad for so many years. And people, are kind of bandwagon. We have all these people from Cleveland that root for Pittsburgh. And, I'm like, I don't know nothing about that. I don't know nothing about that team. But you're getting a new audience to this team, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, new audience and new flavor. We got to understand we're pushing the old guard out. And then they trying to hold it to it. That's why I get the old artists talking about Watson, about clear for the team. But we don't understand. Understand people period of other cities or anything doesn't equate Cleveland Browns football with the city of Cleveland. If that makes sense. Like I don't care if we have players who act a fool off the field, right? And I'm not talking about crazy stuff like act a fool. I just want you to win the game. That don't reflect me as I'm Cleveland. Oh, he did something off the field. That means your city trash.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Other cities people done LA, Miami, players done craziness.
Mm-hmm.
And people just brush it by as only Cleveland mentality.
We got a comment too.
No, it doesn't. It got nothing to do with you.
Somebody said the Eagles should have kept Gannon and T.J. Edwards.
Who?
Gannon and T.J. Edwards. That was Damian Hernandez. Thank you, Damian. We appreciate you for listening to the show. But while we're here, we only got a couple minutes left. Let's talk about Michigan and Washington. It is? Okay, 6:48. We got 12 minutes left. So, you in here.
I tell you what's scary is.
Well, let's be clear about who you're rooting for. You're rooting for the team of
See, that's where you get mixed up. That's where you get mixed up. Here's the thing.
Well, all you do is praise Harbaugh and all that other stuff.
I like University of Michigan, but you never hear me say you root for them.
You tease me all the time.
Well, because you are Ohio State fan. You just do it all.
I ain't a fan. I'm an alumnus.
He's die hard. You die hard. I'm not die hard into the rivalry. I like their team. Into this school, go to the camp. I like their team. I also love football. I'm also a realistic. I told you, Mr. Price, when it was down, I said, this is what's about to happen. I told you when we changed the staff, I said, hey, we changed the staff and went younger. Remember that conversation? We changed the staff and went younger. Watch what happened. I told you the attrition of Ohio State football. I said, they got to learn to do it fast first. They got to learn to do this portal stuff. Hit them, they won't know how to do it. Am I right?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So now, this game, Penny here.
Really?
Oh, listen. The best pure thrower I have seen.
Yeah.
The best pure thrower I've seen in years.
And he's a left.
I understand. His football drops in spots that is hard to get to. Everybody. And he is moving flicks off his wrist. Oh, the kid. He's scary. He scares me because that time when they get up and he'll get caught no matter what. Right. That's the most difficult part of Michigan is get to him and rattle him. He has not been rattled. They won 9 games when they were down for like 7 points left, whatever, right? Every game they've been in, they almost either down or they protect that score, right? That's a battle test team. Now, everybody said Michigan not battle tested. They are Penn State, Ohio State, Alabama. Those are not battle testing that you need, right? Because the atmosphere. That's what scares me. It's that quarterback drives that. Take him off. That team is winning 9. Put another quarterback. Right? You put Cal McCord in there, they might not win again. Right?
You're right.
I mean, that's serious. That's not good. Not saying Cal is bad, but that's what I'm saying how it is. Michigan is probably the best constructed team in the nation at every level. The linebacker, both his hands are broken. People don't know that. Yes, been broken for the last 3 weeks. Last 3 or 4 weeks. Last 3 games. Broken hands. And he's playing. The DB are locked. Right. Offensively. When you talk about play call, are you talking about Ohio State play calls, the Browns play calls? Michigan play calls what works for them in during that game. And then the next game you switch up. Never seen the games over the same. First 5 games, these games all over. We're going to first tough game. We're going to run it in the next 4 weeks. Penn State, 60 carries, 2 passes. Right? It'll be Ohio State will have you with this and this. What if Jim McCarthy with messed up ankle with nobody knew? Right? Going to Alabama, all of a sudden, you started to get all these extra pass plays, extra over routes, adjustments. I have never seen it. They all of a sudden think it's not going to work. They needed the ball to score, and that drive was scored the tie the game. It's a phenomenal drive. Like what plays that the back right at the back to Corn. Like they're very and against the innocent,
That's right.
tight.
Mhm.
Performance of these two.
Now there's
Well,
plays off.
no, he doesn't. He listened in on. He listened.
Okay.
And to Christel's points, listen, nobody has scored more than 24 points against Michigan in 14 games this season. Only 3 teams reached 20. On the other side, Washington produced 37.6 points per game this year, right? The Wolverine defense held opponents to an even 150 yards through the air. But Penix Jr. Matched 350 yards a game. This is a classic offense defense. It's going to be a heck of a game.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm like, it's one of them games I'm just watching. And just for your, just for your for their legacy, they were really down bad in 2020, right? And I'm surprised how many college football fans don't like Michigan. Like, I never knew that, but because when you smack people's head up for so long,
That's
for
right.
many years,
And blood.
and then all of a sudden you on the down, they won't.
That's right.
Right. That's why Alabama, right? You smack everybody. Alabama was down for safety. All of a sudden they came out beating their head, right? And so it's a great game. Them kids wanted to win. JJ McCarthy said in 2020 when Michigan was losing, he wrote on his Instagram or Twitter before he got there, said, "Hey, Michigan fans, take big free. Knows it's coming. Don't worry about it. We're gonna be there."
He said
He said
He's something else.
after he wanted to come to Ohio State and Ryan that he was, he was calling forward over JJ McCarthy.
and we are all these coaches every day that they went the last years they playoff, they stood in the team, just taking it in. Taking it in. Last year he said, "We'll be back. Watch, we're gonna win this game."
It's gonna be
It goes back to what? Coaching, right?
It
We go
was.
to coaching. So, not many games did not coach this year. Michigan. Six.
I was about to say it.
Six games. So you only coach 4. In the 6 games that he was out was the toughest games. Besides, like, what 2 of them? Penn State and Ohio State. He didn't coach at Ohio State.
He
Yeah.
had all that time to strategize for them. I mean, think about that. Think about that.
And if this in last year coordinator and his brother would have been the game, would be on the sideline.
Nice. That's I like movies like that. I'm sorry. Like I can't stand Michigan, but that's what
Yeah, right.
they busted the butt to be here. They have like an NFL style team. This is going to be a great college football championship.
It's gonna be like this is good though. Like, he's the best quarterback in the league. Hands down. He should-
He should have won Heisman. If Marvin Harrison couldn't win, I wanted
No,
10x.
listen, we talk about the Heisman thing and everything. We talk about the best player in the nation.
Yeah.
Who is that quarterback?
Yeah, he's phenomenal.
He is. Whoever gets in the NFL he's gonna light up his first year. He's
He's
that
that good.
He can make free throw on the dime and just drop it. You know how hard that is?
No, I don't have to play it.
I've seen good
Wait,
football.
listen, hey, I'm asking you a question. Or these the 4 best teams in the college football? As you look back on it.
I mean, I think they have it right. To be honest with you, I do. I think they have it right. Asterisk Florida State. I think they had it right. I really do. And I think tonight is going to be more proof of that. I can't say enough about this game, but for me, I think they had it right.
I think they have much more. Listen, okay, that first you got it move. You had to see every bit of it play out on the field.
Now I do think that for Mr. Milrow, he's going to be back, of course, to be reckoned with next season.
He
He's
got like,
Yeah.
He got like they Alabama got like they did not. The 4 best teams like Michigan made a super Bowl that game. You remember they talk about the Big 3 team not fast.
That's right.
They threw this pass. Michigan threw this pass. I did not see all year. Freshman. Didn't see him all year. The kid was. Caught this ball, drag, hit the fifth gear, and shot up the south, shot past everybody. I was like, hold up.
You used to get something like that, right?
My high school. But like that team thing, when they talk about Big Ten teams in the matchup, as you see this team being built out with the type of recruits.
But you know what? Too, I think that's what is going to be a beautiful thing to see about how all of the conferences are changing, how teams are going to be able to recruit differently because of that. It's exciting. I know some people don't like change. I think that's exciting. I think Harbaugh's, conversations about including players and streaming, I think that all bodes well for the future of college football.
Yeah, it's different. Oregon offered a guy the ACL, the running back, running back OT.
Nice.
But they have to market it to the Big Ten. So I have to get these type of running backs for the Big Ten.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like you got to get that confidence when you get players to play. And I think Michigan showed how to use transfer players, how to build a team, and that's what you're seeing. That's what Alabama essentially built their team.
They were ahead of the curve.
They were
agree with that. Totally agree.
Georgia's the same way. Now all of a sudden you got another team, and as soon as I watch it, I do because a lot of kids are going there play. And so we need Ohio State to be good because I'm a Big Ten fan. It doesn't matter if you get to the top. I looked at Ohio State with three classes. One, I think like 2, 4, 5, 4, and 2, something like that. So you top five. But that doesn't matter if you don't do that.
Boom. Shut it down.
And they got rid of their safety today as well. So
it doesn't mean don't. You can have two things going on right now. Kids are that is the truth. That is the truth. Kids are being super overrated. Complications, big money, big money high school. People get overrated. And two, sometimes you got to be able to develop. So that class of look at Michigan class. Their class is maybe top 10. A couple of times that be the top 10. But you got to get top 10 in certain positions are good. Well, that's a good defense, different type of additional. Well, that's not a good linebacker and a corner. Who's their guys? They don't have to go. Yeah, you got all the receivers. Not but Texas Tech, right? Remember Texas Tech? Great receivers. Remember that?
Evan, Mike,
you get it all day. But if you don't have those top guys in defense and develop guys, if you don't have those top ones, that offense, I gotta go. I think that's part of Ohio State problem. They got to cover in this landscape.
Let me ask you, what do you think about Deontay and Devontae Armstrong, the twins out of CNED's?
Like
okay.
Huh.
Do you think do they start next year?
No. Okay. Start next year. But it didn't develop. Right. They don't start next year. Michigan got to go the other.
Yeah.
They didn't go.
And you know how I feel about Shane Rainey as well. He's under recruited. Like I just hold on to these.
They got Kentucky, Brian Robinson, 6'2", edge from Kentucky. From Youngstown, played down.
What is that style? Like what? How does that happen?
Some people like college coaches like right? They like I think that's it. Now, the best thing about Urban and Jim Tressel, more Jim Tressel than anything, is he locked up the orders for Cardinals. And he sold it. He's just part of this. Now, the environment changed transfer for the money in IL. But even Urban, even for a top 10 guy, even if you thought Michigan was getting or you think about Michigan.
So what did not happen with Ryan? That happened with you from your coaching experience perspective.
Because Urban Meyer was a tyrant. best coaches are hey, you know what I mean? Best coaches are people. Remind like I didn't. He,
Arrogant.
I feel like when they went to Ohio State, they came around like bodyguard. I don't know what but that's him. And yeah, I got the but he was in there. He was
I mean, would you agree that resonated in terms of the culture and the style of things? See, this is what I don't understand.
that's
Okay?
what
This is what I don't understand. How do we overstep that, process? And why do we expect different than what we saw this year, what we've seen the last few years with Ryan Day, with the game?
You just don't got that personality out.
That's why he did. He entered a new officer set. From my understanding, all the officer coordinators going and he gave people warning like he bring new people in.
Didn't he play?
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
run into
Bring somebody
I mean, this is what I just really don't understand.
bringing people. What you need to bring is people.
And so, who the collegiate level, when you think about the program, are they former players?
It could be. It depends. Everybody. I don't believe that. I don't believe that defense from Big 12 is strong. Right? You thought that was gonna work. He's never been. He never seen what it's gonna do. At the end of the day, it's three teams that potentially can be Ohio State. Three teams.
Okay.
Michigan,
Penn State? Seriously.
potential.
They got awful enough education,
Potential.
especially in Happy Valley.
Who has developed under him besides the Rock? Who has developed?
Nobody.
Understand me when I say this. Who developed? Has a running back developed?
Would you say C.J. Stroud developed a little bit, or just had those two?
Yeah, that was. You see their stuff. And plus, they thought he was bad. I thought it was great.
I did too. I can understand that.
So who developed it like man, not Marvel, but that's better.
That's true too.
So who has to physically, who has developed it?
I mean, it's a stretch, and I know this. What about Cade Stover? But and we're talking about one player. To your point.
Steel Chambers. Is he leaving?
Who's your best DB? Who's your best DB? I remember they had a DB street. Where's that at? One DB street, you get linebacker.
Silver bullets don't exist anymore.
And that's what I'm saying about Ohio. But that's what I'm saying about Ohio.
I mean, I'll give your styles, props, even though you guys aren't related. I mean, he was decent, like, right? I saw, potential in him. But yeah, we're sparse.
Where's that guy?
Rachel, you need to come out there and start.
It's all about who they develop.
Yeah.
And we got developing players. We'll get three more of the guys besides the quarterback. Sorry, I mean,
Yeah, things too is that they're not really recruiting in Ohio that much. It kind of reminds me of the John Deere teams where you had, from like California and stuff like that, and you were winning.
So we did get two with the Rice West with they got some guys from I don't think enough guys.
Yeah. You got to come in your own backyard because they're being taken away. You see, Michigan came in, and condolences to the family of the player from Glenville that was murdered this weekend. So, yeah, Tavon, I forgot his last name. Sorry, but condolences to his family. So, yeah, he was a football player at Glenville as well. So, sorry to end the show on a sour note, but go Huskies! I'm a Huskies fan. I filled out my bandwagon application and everything.
Girl, call me tomorrow and let me let you just vent. You know what's about to win this game.
All right, you've been listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU at 95.9 FM. We are out of here. Girl, I hope not. I hope not.
It's took me like the majority of the first quarter to figure out how to install that HD TV antenna.
Oh,
I was like,
but you
Lord,
don't have it. You had DirecTV, right?
yeah, but they're arguing with Tegum,
Yes.
which owns NBC, right?
Yes. Yeah, they were saying it could be a blackout.
It's been since December 1st, and I hate to cut my visit short with my mom, but you got to talk about this football, bro.
He did? They just announced it?